you're making a video game and you have a lot of ideas and you'd like to prioritize them, this is the right video for you. You're still here. Good. So the first thing we're going to do is let's do this together. So get a sheet of paper right now and you can pause this video and we're going to do this as we go. So the first thing we're going to do is list all the features that you have in your head, all the things that you want to build. And you're going to try to identify them in a simple sentence like, I want the user to be able to do this, or I want my engineer to be able to do that. And you list them one after the other. Very simple. Let's say we start with 10, just to keep things tight. Then the second thing is we're going to identify the value. So if you had these features in your game, how much value would they add to your overall game? So first one, for example, is really big. You're going to give it 100. The second one is probably about, half as valuable. You're going to give it a 50. The second one, it adds a little bit of value, but not all that much. The fourth one, you're not even sure. You know what? Don't do it. Don't do it, or at least not yet. If it's really important, it will come back and it will be very clear. And so on and so forth. When you're done that, then the next thing is we're going to talk about the cost. So the cost of development. And you have to be consistent with how you gauge that, but it's typically how complex is it as a team to deliver, right? And you're not going to do it by yourself. You're actually going to get your team with you, unless you're a solo dev, in which case you can do that. But if you have a team, a small team of 4 or 5 people, you're going to do this exercise together. And it's really interesting from two viewpoints. The first one, the reason why you do this as a team is because it's actually the team that is going to work on it. And so you shouldn't do it in your head without them. And then the second thing, it's actually the discussion that is really interesting. So, for example, if your artist thinks that it's pretty easy and gives it a 5, for example, but your engineer thinks that it's going to be really difficult and gives it a 30, and then your QA tester gives you maybe like a 50, then the next thing you should ask each other is like, why is it so difficult from your perspective versus my perspective? And as you do that, you really develop that sort of like team understanding of the complexity of that particular feature. So this one, for example, is 100 in value, and the cost is, about a 50, for example. The second one is a 50 in value, but it's actually really easy because we're almost there. We've built all the right system, and it just needs that extra little finish to surface the feature to the user. This one is a 10 of value, but it's just really complicated for whatever reason, right? So we're going to give it a 20, and so on and so forth. And what we've done with this exercise, then as a team, we can easily identify where we're getting the most value for the lowest cost. So obviously this one is not going to be at the top of our backlog. It's our number one priority as a team. Maybe the second thing is probably this one. So this one is going to be our second priority. It's adding a lot of value, but it's going to take a little bit longer. So how long is it going to take as a team is the next discussion that will take place. And then maybe we'll do this one after. So my advice is do this for maybe like a couple of weeks, for example, worth of work. That's what we usually call the sprint. And then do that exercise again by maybe updating some of those values given where you are. And keep adding to this and go through that exercise as you get more feedback from your players. All right, leave me a comment if you're interested in learning other things about making video games, and I'll do my best to help you. Best of luck. See ya.